Yo, what up? It's your boy Jonathan Belcher, just recording this video. Once again, here to empower you, here to enrich you, to find your true power, your true strength from the inside so that you can create the greatness, the prosperity, the lifestyle, the materialistic things, manifest what you want on the outside. Realize that in life, if you work on your inner game and you get to know yourself, your true self, anything that you want in this life shall be granted to you. That's first and foremost. I gotta tell you that straight out the gate. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Also hit the bell below so that you can be notified whenever I make videos like this. Also drop your comments, right? Subscribe to this video. Subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that. I want to talk about a friend of mine. I'm going to consider him a friend of mine. His name is Patrick Day. He recently passed away a few days ago. So I want to have a moment of silence first. Alright, I just want to have a moment of silence just to pay my respects to Patrick Day. He was a professional boxer. Grew up in New York. A true champion, a really good guy. And if anybody knows anything about the law of attraction, he's probably the top guy when it comes to understanding how the law of attraction works. He really understood how to manifest results, how to accomplish what he wanted, and just a true champion. You know, unfortunately, it was tragic. He had a fight, his last fight, he didn't make it. I actually met Patrick about a year ago through my cousin. My cousin's name is Kamal. He also boxes as well, so you could check him out on the internet and stuff. And Kamal would go to the gym, so I would go to the gym with Kamal, and Pat would be there working, right? And one day I went to the gym with Kamal, and they was like, that's the guy right there, like that's the man right there, and they was pointing at Patrick Day. And I remember Patrick Day was going hard, like, you know, fully focused, fully dedicated, fully passionate, just immersed into his work, immersed into his training. I mean, this guy was so focused, you couldn't get him off of the punching bag. You couldn't get him to stop running. You couldn't get him to stop training. And I seen him, and it was crazy because before I actually met Patrick, I used to hear his name a lot around the area. People used to talk about him, but I didn't meet him yet, and I heard that he was a professional boxer or whatever. But it's different. It's a difference from when you hear about somebody as opposed to when you actually meet them. And when I actually met Patrick, you know, I got to know him. I got to, you know, I hung out with him a couple times, went out to some parties and stuff with Patrick. Went to a club one time with him, even went to his house one time before we went out, and we was just hanging out. And one thing I noticed about Patrick is, you know, he's a champion, a true champion in the ring, a true champion when he's boxing, when he's training and stuff. But what made him really stand out to me to another level, where I knew that he understood the law of attraction and he understood just the laws of the universe, is that he treated people good. Even when I met him, my cousin introduced me to him, and he treated me good. He didn't treat me less than, or, you know, because you think, when you think of a professional boxer or anybody who's professional or gaining some type of fame, you think of somebody who may be a little arrogant. They probably think, you know, they're better than people. They probably have their nose in the air a little bit. But Patrick did not show any signs of this at all. I mean, Pat is a dude where I met him one day. We was in the party just hanging out, and he can't, you know, comes up to me, he's like, man, you want a drink? You want what you want, right? And I told him what I want. A real cool dude, extremely humble. And I just wanted to make this video talking about that, and talking about how just his character meant so much. You know, he would do things like meditate. He would do things like work out. He would fully work on himself. He would work on his mind. And he had a good record. He had a good boxing record, was a great fighter. And unfortunately, you know, he went out doing what he loves, you know. And I say unfortunately because when people are great people, we don't want them to leave us. When people have a great spirit about them, when they have a great character, we don't want them to go. We don't know the reasons as to why God, or, you know, takes them. But, you know, I will say that we can learn a lot from his legacy. If you don't know who Pat is, professional boxer, you couldn't research him. You know, you learn a lot from his legacy. Even when he spoke in interviews and stuff, and spoke, you know, a lot of truth came from him. He always spoke a lot of truth and a lot of empowering messages. And I think I learned a lot more about him after his passing, which I think that's unfortunate too. even though I hung out with him a couple times, and the last time I seen him, him and my cousin was going to hang out, and I was like, you know what, guys, I'm gonna just chill out. I'm gonna just go home. I'm gonna work on the computer for a little. I got a lot of work to do. And he was like, man, I like you, man. He's like, one thing I respect about you, you're real focused. I like that about you. Those were his last words that I heard from him about a week and a half prior. And, you know, it's just a sad thing. It's really, really messed up that he has to go, man. It's just crazy, you know. But I will say he believed in working hard. He believed in staying dedicated. He believed in staying focused. He believed in having respect for others, showing others kindness, you know, saying things like, if you love me, I love you. If you hate me, I still love you. And that's some things he had value. And if you really want to step into your power and really attract the things you want in life, you got to have value. You got to have certain things that you stand for. There's a saying that says, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. And one thing about Pat is he stood for a lot of great things. Not only that, he went above and beyond to mentor my cousin and teach my cousin some things having to do with boxing. And he really treated him like a younger brother, like a real blood brother to him. He really treated him like a great friend, you know, and I respected that as well, because Kamal is my cousin, so I respected the fact that Pat really mentored him, kind of took him under his wing and tried to show him the ropes of how to be a better boxer. But, you know, that's really, I just want to bring up his life and say, you know, to check him out so that his legacy could live on, you know, and just understand that when you watch him, you're going to understand a person who really understood the law of attraction, because he went from just starting out in the gym training to becoming a pro eventually. And that took a lot of work, but he put the work in. He put the blood, sweat, and tears into his craft. And there was no telling him that he could not achieve something. There was no telling him that he could not be a champion. There was no telling Pat that he wouldn't become pro. There was no telling Pat that he couldn't, you know, be greater. He always had in his mentality that, look, I can do whatever I put my mind to. I can achieve whatever my mind is conceiving. And he had that belief. And that is a belief that we all need to accomplish what we want, you know. And that's the best way to exercise the law of attraction. But moving on, I'm going to bring up a little story really quick. And in this story, there was this family. And they owned a mansion. They owned a beautiful mansion with, you know, a big yard, a big driving yard, all of that stuff in this gated community. And they had a big, beautiful house. And on the side of the big, beautiful house, by their house, was a mountain. And they had like a pond in the front of their house, right? And the pond would just have water coming through it from the mountain. The pond would have clean water coming to it. And I don't know if I should say a pond or if I should say like a well or something. But there was always children in the front, you know, in the front area of the mansion playing, having fun, enjoying themselves, running around. You know how children are. Children are very, you know, they're just pure, innocent beings. And they were just running around having a good time. And this family would put up a sign that says, you're welcome to come in, right? They were a very welcoming family. And the stream of water just kept coming into the well, kept coming in over the years. And beautiful, clean, fresh tasting water. So the kids were able to drink from the water. You know, they were able to get buckets and whenever they were thirsty and get the natural water from the mountain. Now, understand that the source of water that was in the pond or the well, if you will, right, it wasn't as much as where the water was coming from, which is on top of the mountain. The water was coming from on top of the mountain and going down the stream down into this pond. Now, the water, of course, that was in the pond is of the same nature of where it came from, right? Where it came from was from this top of this mountain where you couldn't see where it naturally was coming from. So what happened was another family, something happened and the family had to move out. You know, the family had to go somewhere else. They had to move out and they were basically going to sell the property to a new family. And like I said, the environment was a beautiful environment. It was fun. Kids were able to come there. People were able to come there and they enjoyed themselves because the energy was so good. But that source of water was nonstop. It was an infinite source of water. Now there's a message to the end of the story, so make sure to watch to the very end. I got a very important message to share with you about the law of attraction. And what I'm talking about basically is I'm talking about the unlimited source, the infinite source that's out there in the world, or the free energy. You know, you could say it comes from God, you could say it comes from the universe, but there is an unlimited source of energy, an unlimited source of ideas, an unlimited source of power that you have within you as long as you tap into it. So this new family buys the house, right? They bought the property. The new family buys the property and they start, chopping trees down. They start chopping things down. They get rid of the well. They get rid of the pond. So basically they cut off the water supply from streaming from the mountain down into the pond. They put up a sign that basically kept people away from the property, kept people away, kept kids out. And this new family had more of a closed off approach from letting the abundance of life, letting the abundance of just enjoyment, letting the abundance of peace flowing in. So they had more of a closed off approach. They changed the whole property, messed things up. And now the source of water that was an infinite source coming from the mountain was no longer able to come down to the pond. So that drinking water that was once there in the pond or the well or whatever you want to call it, it was eradicated. It was done. It was eliminated. Right? So then people would mope around. The family wasn't a very happy family. They were closed off to the abundance. So that change is a description. Some of you have been living your life cutting yourself off from the source. And you're wondering why you're not able to make the money. You're like, John, I want to make the money I want to make. John, I want to have the success I want to have. John, I want to accomplish this. I want to accomplish that. I want to reach this new level. I want to reach that new level. And you're having all these dreams and these hopes and these great, these goals. But you've cut off yourself from the supply. You've cut off yourself from the source. And you say, what's the source, John? What's the source? The source are your ideas. The source comes from your intuition. The source comes from your vision. The source comes from your imagination. The source comes from your passion, you being passionate about something. The source comes from your belief. The source comes from your faith. The source comes from your love that you're willing not only to accept, but also the love you're ready and willing to give to the world. And you're not realizing that you're doing things, cutting yourself off from the source. Just like that new family came into the house and they cut off the source of the water that was infinitely streaming from the top of the mountain. Some people do that in their life. They go about life finding a problem for every solution, and they wonder why the universe is not giving me what I want, John. Why is the universe not giving me what I want? Then I would say to check your emotions. I would say to check yourself. I would say to start becoming open to the abundance that wants to come into your life. Start becoming open. Things want to manifest. The universe wants to give you what you want. But if you're sitting there closing yourself off from making the relationships with the right people, if you're closing yourself off from forgiving the people who may have done you wrong, if you're closing yourself off from hearing something new that may challenge your past beliefs, you're cutting yourself off from the source. If you're constantly walking around with the idea that I know it all and nobody can teach me something, you're cutting yourself off from the source. And that's why you're not getting the abundance. You're not making the money. You're not having the prosperity you want until now. Until now. Until now. You're going to start opening up yourself to the source. You're going to start opening up yourself to the infinite ideas. And not only are you going to open up yourself to the source, but also when you get that feeling and that nudge and that push to take action in your life, to take action in your business, to make the next decision that's going to allow you to break through, you're going to make the decision at the snap of a finger without second-guessing yourself, without hesitating, without playing double dutch with your dreams. Because that's what most people do. Most people play double dutch with their dreams. They play double dutch with their ideas. They play double dutch with their intuition. They play double dutch with their dreams. They play double dutch with taking action. They play double dutch with making the next move. They study too long. And that's why, because they're closed off from the abundance. The abundance wants to just flow. You got to let it flow, baby. And one thing about Pat Day is he knew how to let the abundance flow. He didn't get in the way. He didn't stop other people from shining in the boxing world. If he saw you needed help in something, he was there ready to give you that love and show you that mentorship and show you what to do next. Teach you how to do this, teach you how to do that. Give you some pointers, give you some tips, give you some insights from his experience. And that's what made him great. That's what made him great. The fights he's won and all that stuff, that's great and all, that was beautiful, but what made him a great human being is the fact that he was opened up to the abundance. He let the infinite source of water, if you will, flow from the stream of the mountain. And why do I say the mountain? Because the mountain, you can't quite see the top of the mountain, but you see that the flow of water continues to flow down. The non-stop flow of water. that constantly is here on earth, that God gave us. It's infinite. It's infinite. Your source is infinite. Your source is infinite. Your source is infinite. And you're like, John, why the hell you keep repeating yourself, bro? I want you to get it, you know? I want you to get this. I want you to understand the message of this video. That's why I'm repeating myself. Don't close yourself off from the abundance. Don't close yourself off from the consistent flow of ideas. Don't close yourself off from the consistent flow that your gifts has to offer you. Don't close yourself off from what somebody younger than you may be able to teach you. Don't close yourself off from being able to learn from even a baby. You know, one thing about me, I go through life and I could learn from even a baby. A baby could teach me something. A baby who was born today could teach me something. Although I've been here for 28 years. You get what I'm saying? So that's important because I'm not closing myself off. I'm opening up to the abundance. I'm opening up to the manifestation. I'm opening up to the infinite supply. I'm opening up to the infinite source. I'm opening up. I'm opening up to the infinite supply of love. I'm opening up to the infinite supply of dreams and visions and, you know, all the good stuff. And that's how the law of attraction works. You want to really attract what you want? Start opening up yourself. Open up yourself to it. And the law of attraction is going to start throwing things your way. Throwing things your way. It's going to throw things so fast your way you can't even dodge it. You can't even dodge the stuff that's coming your way. You can't even move out the way of it. So much greatness is coming into your life. So much prosperity is coming into your life. So much results is coming into your life. So much sales is coming into your business. So much customers are coming into your business. So much clients are looking to join you. So much abundance, so much overflow, so much blessings. You can't even dodge it. There's so much coming your way. But only if you open up yourself to the abundance. Only if you open up yourself to the abundance. Don't be like that new family that cut off the well, that cut off the supply. Don't cut off your own supply. You want to develop the eye where you're able to see opportunity where everybody sees none. If you could develop an eye where you see opportunity where nobody else sees any, because most people go through life feeling hopeless. They've lost faith. And they're not crippled because they're crippled physically, they're crippled in mind, or they're let me not use the word crippled. They're jailed in mind. Most people are going through life in jail mentally. They're not even physically in jail, but they're mentally in jail. And my whole mission, my whole objective is to get people out of mental captivity, get you out of mental bondage, and so that you can see the other side of prosperity and abundance and the flow. The flow. What does that mean? When I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to take action. I'm ready to work on the next project. I'm ready to work on the next step. I'm flowing. I'm not stopping. I'm flowing. I'm going with the flow. If I get a nudge to do a video, I just got a nudge to do this video and I want to pay my respects to Pat. I let it flow. That was what I wanted to do. I felt right. It felt right doing it. I said, let me just do it. You understand what I'm saying? So share this video with 5 friends or family if you feel they would be blessed seeing this video. Share this video with 5 friends or family. Also, go to workwithjohnbelcher.com. You'll check out, if you check out the training product section, if you want to, you know, get life coaching from me, there's a one-on-one life coaching consultation service where I'm offering. I could get on the phone with you and we talk about some things you're dealing with in your life, and I want to coach you. I want to tell you some things on how to get prosperous results in your life, no matter where you are in your life, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're trying to do, no matter what your dream or your goal is. That's a new service that I have available, as on top of all the other products, the training products that I have and stuff like that. But I appreciate you, and I'll see you at the top. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Peace out.